Whether it's life-size or not, launching rockets are always fascinating to watch. It's really no wonder since humans have always been enamored with the idea of flying. At first, we built planes and jets, but with a few more advancements to technology, we built rockets to explore even space. Today, given the ton of information we have access to, almost anyone can build their own rockets. And while space launch is still limited to private aerospace companies like NASA and SpaceX, there have been a couple of teams who have successfully built their own badass real-life rockets. Disclaimer: the term homemade simply refers to rockets that were made without the support of major spacefaring agencies, such as NASA and the like. Number 10. Go Fast. Made by the CSXT, or Civilian Space Exploration Team, a group of spaceflight enthusiasts that arrange rocket launches without the assistance of space agencies. Its test flight had a height of more than 62 miles, or 300,000 feet, which technically made it to space. It was later improved and stood at 20 feet tall. This version of Go Fast reached an amazing 72 miles before returning to Earth, with little to no damage. The best launch, however, was in July 14, 2014, where it was launched in Nevada's Black Drop Desert with a new type of fuel that allowed it to reach speeds of up to 3,580 miles per hour and an altitude slightly exceeding its previous one. Number 9. Quake. Initially spurred on as a challenge from game designer John Carmack with a prize of $5,000, a group led by Derek DeVell made a simple rocket of 14 feet and 8 inches in diameter and named it after one of John Carmack's games. The goal was to reach 100,000 feet in the air, or 18 miles to get the cash prize, and on September 30, 2011, the team made their first and only launch of Quake. Equipping it with several tracking devices like timers, accelerometers, cameras, and even a GPS to accurately track its ascent, it had a peak altitude of 121,000 feet and a top speed of 3,200 feet per second. The rocket made it back to the ground safely, save for the GPS tracking its ascent, which made them unable to provide concrete proof of clearing the challenge and getting the cash prize, though that might not have mattered that much since they wouldn't be able to break even with the $5,000 prize anyway. Number 8. Vulcan 1. After 2 years of preparation, a team of students prepared the Virgin Voyage of their passion project named Vulcan 1 in Mojave, California. What started off as a dream shared between a few college students turned into a team of spaceflight enthusiasts with over 60 members and a crowd-funded budget of over $20,000. They made use of a 3D printed engine and a simple rocket of 19 feet tall and 8 inches in diameter. The launch was a success, with the rocket reaching a peak height of 4,000 feet and returning to the surface undamaged. This launch also had the significance of proving that 3D printed engines were viable alternatives to small aircrafts, which would reduce the production costs. Number 7. Stratos 2 Plus. Made by DARE, or Delft Aerospace Rocket Engineering, a group in the Netherlands dedicated to learning and spreading the knowledge of rocket science, the Stratos 2 stood at 23 feet and had diameter of 7.9 inches. Its initial goal was to reach a height of 50 kilometers, or 31 miles, but that was deemed impossible in the design phase predictions, so they opted to just continue the launch and see how far it would go. They began flight tests in 2014 and had several failures, as their plan was to simply burn through all the fuel at liftoff and let momentum take care of its ascent. Learning from their mistakes, they made design improvements and renamed it the Stratos 2 Plus. In the end, the rocket reached a height of 13 miles, which was still impressive and even inspired a Stratos 3, but they have yet to produce anywhere near the same results. Number 6. Thunderstruck 5. A passion project by an Australian man and his 12-year-old son, it was the smallest craft ever built to be able to go to the boundary of space, re-enter the Earth's atmosphere, and land intact. Described by its creator as a small winged re-entry vehicle, the Thunderstruck 5 was 8 feet long and made use of solid fuels to propel it to speeds of up to 600 miles per hour, or twice the speed of sound. The design was proven effective through multiple test flights and said to be useful in the near future where space travel was more common. But their goal for now is to improve the design enough to control it via remote and guide its re-entry back to Earth safely. Number 5. Heat 1X Tycho Brahe. Founded in 2008, Copenhagen Suborbitals was a team dedicated to the goal of being the first amateur spaceflight enthusiast group to send a human to suborbital space, or just at the boundary of space. The first of many steps to that goal was their rocket, the Heat 1X Tycho Brahe, and was meant to be a proof of concept for their design. It was made from construction steel and had a booster that could be turned on and off through remote control. All of its materials and its production cost the team over $50,000. The first launch was scheduled in 2010, but due to malfunctions, it was moved to 2011 and finally launched off a sea platform on June 3rd that year. It reached supersonic speeds or 343 miles per second, but the rocket was so far off its projected course that the team had to stop it after only 21 seconds at a height of about 2.8 kilometers above sea level. Number 4. The DART Project. In a unique experiment to see if a rocket fueled by nothing but a sugar-based fuel could reach heights of more than 50,000 feet or 9.5 miles, the DART project was established. Their first step was to make a rocket motor that could accommodate the fuel, to which it was successful. After building a simple rocket body, they fitted it with the multi-tracking devices to record the efficiency and power of the sugar-based fuel. The launch took place in 2015, with the rocket reaching a height of 57,000 feet of 11 miles, after which it was able to make it back to the ground safely with a parachute. Number 3. Heroes 3. Launched from the Esrange Space Center in November 8, 2016, it held the record for the highest altitude. A rocket made by a student organization, at a height of 24 feet and weighing only 165 pounds, it made use of a simple design in carbon fiber and its main material to reduce its weight as much as possible. At its launch, it reached a maximum altitude of 106,000 feet of 20 miles and a speed of 2,360 feet per second, after which it was able to return to the ground safely. Number 2. Model Mercury Redstone. This group of rocket enthusiasts took model rockets to an entirely new level with their model of the Mercury Redstone, the same rocket that sent the first humans to the moon. A project by the Maryland-Delaware Rocket Association, the model stood at an enormous 64.5 feet tall and weighed 700 pounds, a hundredth of the original version, but that wasn't much of an issue as it was intended for only short flights. It reached a maximum altitude of only 2,640 feet, or about half a mile, but that alone was enough to secure a spot in the Hall of Fame as both the largest model rocket and the furthest a model rocket of that size was able to fly and return to Earth safely at the time. Number 1. Liberty 1. The work of infamous flat earther and daredevil Mad Mike Hughes, who sought to prove that the Earth was flat by making his own rocket and flying it to space to confirm his beliefs with his very own eyes. Despite his unique set of views, his manned rocket designs were still hailed as one of the most advanced and inspired work among amateur rocket enthusiasts, and many watched his test flights in awe as he risked his life and limb for his pursuit of the truth. One of the most memorable launches was that of Liberty 1, a steam-powered rocket that launched off at a site in California and reached a height of more than 3 miles. It was massively damaged upon returning to the surface due to the parachutes being unable to slow its descent, and Mike was severely injured as a result. Unsurprisingly, he was not deterred by this and kept on making and improving his rockets until February 22, 2020, where a malfunction in the parachute sent him plummeting to an untimely demise. And there you have it, folks. Top 10 homemade rockets. So what do you think? Are you inspired to build your own version of homemade rockets? Did these rockets live up to their expectations? If so, leave a comment down below and feel free to leave suggestions for future videos. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more videos just like this one.